Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. So in this video, I'm going to discuss input controls in Power App. So in my previous video, I discussed how to create a small application or how to start with the Canvas application. So Canvas application allows you to customize the UI as you want, right? So we started with creating a blank Canvas application, and then we added few components or few controls to design the form to collect the input from user. So this application was specifically for the employee leave request, right? And this kind of form was designed, and we used a patch function to submit the data, right, or to create a new record or to add a record in data source, right? So I would like to discuss beyond this that there are if you go to the insert, so insert is the only way to insert the controls, different types of controls, I can say, in Canvas application. So here in input controls, meaning all these controls are used with the forms or to design the forms or to collect the inputs from users. So there are different types of controls are there. We are going to discuss all these one by one. And to do this, I'm going to add one data set. Okay, so this data set, data set is added. This is what the employee personal infos table I have considered. Let me add the screen. Okay, so if I go here, not to data, but if I go to the tree view, here you have an option to add the blank screen, right? So I'm just adding the screen name as a employee details. Fine. So here in input, there is a button. So button we saw, if you want to perform something, when you click the button, so this control is used, right? So this is what we used even in previous application to submit a leave request data, right? So this can be changed. So this, for the buttons, you can change the name from the properties. So if you want to enable the property, if you don't see the property window on the right side, you will be able to click on this properties. So in the kind of ribbon bar or in application, you may refer this as a nav bar. So you can come to the, after editing, you can come to the properties. If you click on this and if you select this control, button control, so you will be able to see the text on the button, right? So I will say this is a demo, right? So when someone click on this, what he wants to do? So when, see here, we don't have option called click. So that is referred as an select on select, meaning when let's say if I play the application and if I select this, if I hit the click on this button, so what you want to do, you will be able to define. Right. So this is button, and the visible, or you may want to hide this visual, you will be able to hide. This is the position. You can drag the position. Even you can use the horizontal and vertical size, enter the size. Okay, so that it should be positioned at specific location on the screen, right? Then size of this, so you can over the mouse on the dots and you can change the size. But if you want to type the size, you will be able to type the size here. Then you may want to add the padding from the top side and the bottom side. So yes, you are able to do. Okay. So padding from top side, let me say 1, and this is the 1. Okay, this is 51, and this is again 51. Right. So this is how the padding can be changed. But by default, it is same from all the side. And let me keep it as it is. Padding is the space between this line to a border, meaning between the text to border. Right. Then if I come to the next property, you will be able to change the colors like colors of text. So I may want this text in this orange color. I may want this background color as a white, or maybe as a this color. So you will be able to change the colors. Then border, at this moment the border is not defined, or the okay, the border is none. But if you want to add the border, so as a solid dotted or dashed line, you will be able to add. This is the size of border, and this is the color of border. Okay, let me pick the color. So I'm just going through the all the properties for the button. Okay, let me pick it cross. Okay, let me pick this one, and this is a solid line. Now you are able to see this. Okay, let me increase the size so that you will be able to see the border. Right. So this is how border can be added. You can add a border radius also, so that corners can be round. Then font size, sorry, font, you will be able to define the font style. Then font size. Okay, then font weight. So all these in the formatting options are available in the display. First option, that is display. How to display your control. All kind of things are available. So here you have an option to select, click on select. But if you want to edit the same properties, you can go to the advanced. Okay, and you will be able to see, if you see, not every property is available here. But if someone select this, what he wants to do, if someone select this, I may wants to navigate to the another page. Okay, so I am just showing you how to navigate this. Okay, and then navigate to, and then target is like home. Right. Then if you want to do add some kind of transition, you will be able to add. Otherwise and in context, meaning if you want to pass the data, you will be able to pass the data. So this is about the navigate function. This is how you can use. Let's say I may want to play the application, and let me click on this. Right. So okay, the this is, and let me play, make this size, and then okay, fine. Right. So here, if I come to this page, uh, the employee details page, and if I click on the, if I just play the application, it is switching to the home. Right. So navigation. Similarly, you will be able to add the functions to submit the data or update the data, all kind of functions. So what you write here when someone select this is what going to happen here. Okay, right. Then if I click on this, and when let's say there is a property called on hover or hover color, when I hover this, right? So this is not going to mean, see, this is what the color it is coming. Let me change this color. Okay. So I don't want to use this for the fill, but if I select this and here if I say 120, random color I'm picking, okay, 130 and 100, right? So this is the RGB property I have given. So when I over the mouse on this, the now the color is different, right? This is what the color it is picking, right? When I over the mouse, earlier it was completely dark blue, now little bit changed. Then I select this, so like this. So here if you go and discuss, so meaning try to check the properties. Okay, I will discuss everything. So alignment, with respect to alignment, you will be able to align, define here align center, align left, align whatever with the text. Okay, so this about this alignment is of the text on the button, right? So I said it is at center. I may say this should be at left, and I may say this should be at right. So few properties are common across all the types of controls and central. So we will be seeing those kind of properties here. This is about the alignment. Then auto disable on select if you want to uh, make this enable or false. So you will be able to do that so that people should not click multiple times, right? Then border color, you will be able to define the border color. So all whatever we kind of properties we see here on the right side pane, properties pane, the list of those properties are available, and you will be able to write the formulas. You will be able to give the conditions so that you can customize however you want to do. And here you can write the Power FX programming language to give the condition. Based on the condition, it will render the view of your application, right? So this is about the button and its properties, right? You can try each and every properties, and if you stuck or if you don't understood anything, do comment in the below of video. I will explain there also, right? So now I discussed one. Similarly, if I go to the text input, okay, and there is a one more. So both are same text input. Then text label is there. Okay, this will not that label will not be here. So if I say text, so in the display there is something called text label, right? Not in a input. So same kind of properties you will be able to see what kind of text you wanted to keep on the this label, then font, then visibility, then size, padding, position, color, everything, right? And when disabled, what should be the color? When over, what should be the color? What will be the tooltip when someone over the mouse on this? What it should show? And then this is the tab index. Okay, so tab index and all we will see later. This can be used to show the different outputs on at a single place. Okay, so we will see that property later, right? But tab index for this, then this, okay. And then if you go to the advanced, again on select, so same kind of properties are available there also. You will be able to see not every property is same between the button and all. The since the functionality of each control is different, accordingly the properties are there and you can modify that. Okay, so this is what we already discussed, how to use the button and all, and controls even. Okay, as an date picker, we saw how to consider the date also. So by default date, if you want to change, you can write the formula here, and you will be able to change the date. Then there is something called, okay, so you may want to take the signature as an input. So people can sign here, so you can give like this, and they can use the pen and kind of inputs, so they can sign. So to take that, this pen input is available, right? Then button text input, pen input we discussed, the date picker we discussed. Then there is something called list box. So this is a sample list, but if you give the any column here, it will show. So I will just use the data source name dot, let's say, employee ID. Okay, for example. So this is just showing you the list. It is not going to do anything. You cannot add the controls on this, but yes. So it is list box for your selected values. So if I play the application, you will be able to see list of all these. Okay. Then there may be a need that you may want to sort this. So you will be able to sort. Just so there is a function called in PowerFX, there is a function called sort. And this is the source. This is the expression. And this expression I wanted to sort in, okay, not in descending, let's say in ascending. So I can do this, and this list will be meaning any type of value could be sorted here using the sort function, right? So this is the list box control from input. Then we have a checkbox. So we will see how to use checkbox, then radio button, then toggles, then sliders, then rating, then timer, right? And there may be a way to, okay, so if you allow your location, so you will be able to, right, you will be able to enter the address here. So address input is given there. Then in layout, okay, in layout control, there is something called data tables. Okay, I would like to use this. Then I'll select this employee personal infos data source for this table. So it will pick random fields, and you can customize this. So if you go to the data, you will be able to change the source. If you go to the fields, you will be able to add the fields or remove the fields. Okay, if you want to remove the fields, so let's remove, right? Then employee, let's say highest education, let me keep that. Employee address, let me remove this, I don't need this, for example. And even you will be able to change the order. So I kept employee ID on the top, and then DOB, then email ID, employee name, right? And let me bring the email on top. So accordingly, this order will get changed. Then date of birth, okay, DOB and date of birth both are same, looks like. So you can see date of birth, DOB. The format is different, but it is fine. So what I will do, let me select this, go to the fields. So what you need to customize the fields, you need to click on, meaning in the tree view, in this tree view, you need to click on the data table, and then over the mouse on the table, so that you will be able to see. Then date of birth is fine, I don't need this. So this is how you can remove the fields. If you want to add the fields, you can simply click on the add field, and then you will be able to select the column names from here that will get added to your table. This is how table is created. Okay, this is how this table is created, or you can display the data from your source in Power App, right? Then let's say, okay, I picked it from layout. Our input is so interest is in input controls, right? So we have something called drop down, right? So if meaning if you want to give an options to the user to select something, you will be able to do that. So here in, I see again, if you come to the properties, so all the properties for the items, okay, so for items are none here, but you can select the items. If I go to the employee personal info, okay, so by default what it has done, it has picked the email, but you will be able to select, let's say, employee ID. So you will be in a position to, okay, so now this drop down has changed to this one, right? So now if I select this and okay, again, so I made a selection from here, but we can sort this here. There is no issue. Okay, so we can use the sort function, the one which we saw sometime before. We will be able to use that. Okay, so we don't need to use this depends on, because this is not applicable when we have more than one drop down. In that case, we will be in a position to select the depends on, right? Then default, it should be one. Then display mode edit, always keep the display mode edit for the drop down. Okay, if you want to disable this drop down, you will be able to disable. If you want to keep this in only view mode, you will be able to keep that. Otherwise, obviously, see, we are going to change the values in the drop down, so you should use edit mode, right? So now rest of the properties, visible or not, position, size, padding, then color, selection color, then font family, and font size, font style, font weight, and border, everything is same. Then these kind of things are pretty much same. Then let's say when change, meaning if you want to do something, okay, if you want to do something, so you can add the formula here for on change. Okay, so here on change, on select, right? So we are going to select the value here. So if I play this drop down, just hold, click on the alt button, and you will be able to play the this control for testing purpose, right? So if I select this, you will be seeing here action. So on select and on change action you can add. Then data, accessible label, allow empty selection. So as and when the situation comes, we need to find out which property we should use. Then when the page is refreshed, this should get resetted, so you will be able to set this also, right? And then all these are the colors, so you can customize the color to look it beautiful. Yeah, that's it for the drop down. But what I want to do is, for example, if I want to do, meaning if I make the selection here, or let me say if I add the employee ID here, right? Employee ID here, and if I use the sort function, employee personal info, this is the data source, this is the column, and I would like to sort it in ascending order. And yes, so now you can see this is sorted in ascending order, right? I have data for 50 employees. So now, see, if I make the selection here in drop down, if I make the selection here in drop down, So even you can see this table showing all the details. If I make the selection, I would like to filter this table, right? So as we use the filter function, if you are familiar with the advanced Excel formulas, same kind of function is available here to filter the data in Power FX. And if you start typing that filter employee infos, right? And then logic test is like employee ID. This is what the column is equal to. And I would like to pick the value of dropdown one dot selected text, I would say, and then dot value, right? So now if I play the application, if I make the selection, so this data in this table will get changed. So if I selected 011 ID, it is getting changed for the detail, the details are getting. But drawback is with the drop down, you cannot search, you cannot select more than one, right? Then to overcome this issue, what they have done is they have added something called a combo box. Okay, combo box allows you to search for a specific pattern. So let me use this on the name, employee name, so that it will be easy. So let's say employee personal infos dot and name. So let me say employee space name. Okay, so bracket, if I don't use the bracket, and if there is a space, okay. So if I can't do in this way, so we can, what we can do is, okay, 1 second. So let me select this as a data in the item, and by default it is going to show me something, not sure what it will show. It is going to show me these employee IDs. Good. Then if I go to the properties, you will be able to see, okay, so in combi box there is something called, if you have created a views to filter the data and all, so you will be able to use the specific view based on this table if the views are there, right? Then rest of the properties are same, actions on change on select, then data and all are going to be a same. But here in combi box, okay, so let me disable this. If I disable this, so instead of using this, what I would do is I would use the combi box selection. So let me say combo box one dot selected dot, okay, there is no value, but employee ID. So this is what you can do, right? And now if I play the application, if I select this, it is able to show me, okay. If I select the multiple, okay, these many I selected, but it is giving me the data, it is showing me the data only for the selected one, only for the selected one. So in that case, okay, so in that case, how I can make this filtered for multiple items? So with respect to drop down, there is no way, but yes, here with respect to combi box, it is possible. So if I click on this data table and I wanted to filter this or change this formula, so instead of using this single value, instead of using selected, I will say selected items. This is sufficient. But this, when you select selected items, this is not this operator is not good. So you can change this to in. Right. So let me say employee ID and employee ID in combi box dot selected items dot value. Okay. So this is not behaving at this point. So what you can do is you can simply concat. So if I use the, so we are going to give the list. Okay. Concat, then the employee personal info is the table, and ideally we need not to use this one. Dot, let me try with this employee ID. Fine. Okay. So because as I know, it is not needed, right? That concatenation and all, that is even going to work if you concat the values in this. So that will convert comma separated list of values, whatever the values we have selected here. But it is going to work directly here. Right. So this is the a way to filter the data. If I make the, if I remove the selection, okay. So now the problem you will see here, if I remove all the selection, it is not showing anything, right? So in that case, if you want to customize this, how you will do, right? So this, let me expand this and let me give the condition here. So because this is, if this is equals to blank, right? If the combi box selection is null or blank, so I can say if the combi box selection, combi box one dot selected items is blank, or or let me say combi box dot selected items is equals to blank. I'm just trying to give the condition in all. So why this is not working? Okay, selected dot employee ID is blank. Okay. So this blank is not going to work at all, it looks like, but this is sufficient, is blank. Let me try with this. If this is blank, meaning if nothing is selected, I would like to show the employee personal infos table. Otherwise, it should filter the data. Right. The formula is completed, but this is not working with is blank. Maybe selected items dot value. Value is not going to work. Condition we need to test. That's it. Otherwise, everything is good. So formula it is speaking. So what I, to see the value, whatever the value I selected here, let me use the text input box instead of text label. I will use to display text label, right? And here instead of this, I will see combo box. combo box one dot selected items dot employee ID, expected a text value, or let me say selected dot value. Okay, this is not going to work. And then in that case, I will say employee ID. Okay. So now at this stage, nothing is selected. And so if I use this, I'm just testing the function is blank. Okay. So is blank is going to work. Right. So if I go here, so is blank, the employee ID, then it should show employee personal infos, all the items. Otherwise, it should go and filter. Okay, let me try to make the selection. Okay, sooner I select multiples, it is giving me, right? And even I can give the other condition. Okay, this is the one condition. I can say the combo box dot selected items dot employee ID is equals to the text, but this is again blank. If I say selected dot this, so none of the condition it is taking, but this condition is a true condition. So this should return the complete table. So if I go to the properties, okay, views and all is not going to affect. But yes, this is how the combi box is used. Ideally, this should work. Okay, so let me play the application, make the selection of this, and then remove this selection. And this is not rendering a data. So let me debug this. So looks like the problem is with this. So if I say selected, then it should work. Because nothing is selected. If see selected item is used when multiple items are selected. I'm not going to select anything. In that case, selected items is not going to work. That's why it was not working. Otherwise, this condition is not needed because we tested that if nothing is selected, it is showing me the true right here on the text label. If I make the selection, you will be able to get this. Even inside the combi box, you will be able to sort. So let's say sort, and this is what the expression is like employee ID, and then sort it based on the expression we have added, sort it in an ascending order, right? So based on the employee ID, and now you will be able to see the data is sorted here, right? So this is how drop down is used when you are more specific to the single selection. But if you want to search and find something, then maybe you need to use this combi box. So it allows you to search, and even it allows you to make the selection. Let me play the application, and here if I enter, right, so let's say emp underscore 1, right, so it is like 0 and then 1. So you will be in a position to see all the values are filtered to match the pattern, right? So this is how, let's say if I say 2, so values from 20 to 29 will be shown you here, and you can make the selection. So this will make your selection easy. So combo box is always a good choice in Power Apps, right? Then if I go to the inputs, if I go to the inputs, there is something called, let's say, list box. We saw checkbox, right? So this can be used with the options when like when you have to select the multiple options. Then there is something called the radio button. So if I add the checkbox, okay, not here, this data set is not good for the checkbox testing. So maybe I'll come back here, and what I can do is, okay, I can customize this form also to see the, okay. So here I will say reason instead of this. So is it approved on email? So like this, I'm going to add. So here, you need not to say yes or no. Instead of this, I can use the checkbox. Okay. So this is what my checkbox has an input for this, right? And here I will say check if yes, if approved, right? So this is how we can use this checkbox. But when I make the selection, when I play this application, so on check, meaning when I check what it should do, it should return. So let's see the output of this one also in the text box. So if I go to this, okay, this is the label. Let me cut it from here and paste it here, right? Just to see whether this is checked or not, how it works, right? So here instead of combi box, I would like to use the checkbox too. So let me say, and you will see the suggestions. So checkbox to dot value. Okay. So what will be the value? So by default value is false, right? When the checkbox is there. So uh, when I play the application, so you will be able to see if I check this, it is not going to change, but I wanted to make this, right. So live dot off, even role, text role dot default, and let me see the properties. So what should be the text? Text is false. So maybe, okay. So I so this was false. So text is like selected, or I can say checked. Okay, but this is what? Okay, so here I need to use the formula. My bad. So the formula is checkbox to dot value. And if I click on this checkbox, so you will be able to see on check, this is the value. And let me say true. So if this is selected, if I go to on select, it should be true. Then on check, again it should be true. On uncheck, it should be false. Right. So now let me try to run this application to see whether this is changing. Yes, this is changing. You can see when I check this box, this value is getting changing. So you can use this true and false. And to submit the data, obviously what I have to do is I'm going to submit the form, but this is what it gets failed because why? Here it is the okay. So reason for leave is not there, looks like. So we have changed. Okay. Reason for leave. Okay, this column is there, but employee leave reason, this input box is not there. Instead of this, we have a checkbox. So if I say if then checkbox to dot value is equals to true, then I would say approved, else not approved on email. So kind of validation I have added here. And let me complete this if block. Okay, this should get completed inside this, right? So now everything is done, right? So let me submit this data so that you will be able to see. Let me play the application. The application is here, and this is the employee ID. Let's say this the big one, and okay, for example, this is the name of employee. Then this is the email address for me. Then leave date is like 23rd October. Oh, sorry, 23rd October. I selected it, but I forgot. Then you can see if this is true, what will happen? It should submit the approved. If this is unchecked, it should submit the not approved. Right. So if I click on this, so I wanted to submit this with approved. So let me try to run this application and it should submit the data to my Excel, right? Because we are submitting a data there in Excel. If I go to the OneDrive, inside the OneDrive, okay, inside the documents, okay, somewhere I have that file, employee leave request. Okay, not this one. You are not here. Employee leave request form 917. Okay, right. This is the one. This got updated just now. If I open this file, if I can't see the data here, I can go to the cloud, but you will be able to see here. Okay, this is what the earlier data entered by mistake without filling the form. But this is what the beaver today at the websham.com. This is the name. This is everything is synchronized and whatever was there. Okay, so this is not approved. This is approved. So it's spelling mistake in application while writing the formula. But yeah, we are able to use the checkbox, right? The way we can use the checkbox, similarly you can use the radio button also. It's like nothing. So all these are kind of options. So if you have a two options, see, if you have a two options, you can use the radio button, and one and two. This is what the uh, button. So either you can, if I play this, you will be able to select one or two. So you can change these values. So what to display here? So okay, so radio sample it is used, but items you can say exactly two items can be added, not more than this. Okay, two. If I try to add this, let me see. Just I'm trying. No pay. Oh, so exactly. I thought radio button allows you to select only two. Okay, that may be for the another one. But yes, so you can add the list and whatever you will select. Yes, no, not sure. Right. So this even output you can read, and let me replace this. Okay, I can delete this. Instead of this, I can use this one. Right, then formatting and all you can try by your own for the purpose. Yeah, this is like this, and let me. Okay, so this is in single column. We can change the number of columns looks like, and then we will be able to make this horizontal. Okay, so now this is where, so I can even see here. Okay, so instead of this, radio one I can use. So radio one, and radio one dot selected dot value. Okay, so if I play the application, you can see yes I selected, no I selected, not sure I selected, accordingly. So based on this you can give the condition and you can infer the values as you want, right? Then okay, in toggle we can have the two values exactly looks like yes, on or off, right? On change. So if I play this, you will be able to say on and off, on and off. So based on this also, you will be able to see if I configure the values of toggle one here. So let's say toggle one dot value. So it is just, see here for you, it is off, but for there it is false. If I make this on, this value gets changed to true. The way we use the checkbox, you will be in a position to use this, right? True, false, based on that. So the next one is, okay, the next one is slider. Okay, this is the slider, and by default, if you go to the setting or display, so you will be able to see here minimum value, maximum value. You can change this range. Rest of the customization you can do as you want. And if I play this slider, you will be able to see from 0 to 100 it is moving, and maybe I would like to get that value here. So I can say, okay, let me say slider dot value. So you will see this value based on this, meaning you can do different things with this if you want to play with the numbers by changing, right? So this is how the slider can be used, or x value can be accessed. Then similarly we can have, we are almost done. Okay, we can have ratings also. So out of 5 star you can rate. So let me say 4 star, 5 star, Okay, I selected a 5. Let me say here how the output is there. I'm just going to show you ratings dot value. So it is, see, you will make the selection here, but it will change that in the numbers, right? And based on the number, you will be able to, if I select 3, if I select 5, it is showing the 5 here, right? You need to see this 3, 4, 5. So these kind of controls can be used with the form to take the user's input. Then address input, it's just text box. You will be in a position to enter the address. Then there is something called the form controls. So form controls we will see, that is nothing but edit form and display form. We will see with the data. When we will start building the application with the data, we will start using that. Rich text editor. Okay, so this is how the window looks, and you can customize your text here. That's it. So this is all about the input controls in Power Apps. So I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Do not forget to subscribe WebChamp. Thank you.